today we're analysing one of the best tactics I've used all year. A 4-2-3-1, complete overload in attack, scores so many goals. Let's have a look at the tactic. But quickly, before we have a look at the tactic, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. This is the first time I'm doing a tactic video, but it won't be the last. And if this is kind of your thing, then subscribe. But we do plenty more other things to do with Football Manager. So just, subscribe, like the video, and let's have a look at that tactic. So here is the tactic loaded up with all the roles, all the positions already. And I've put a player in each position that I think best suits the role for this system. And I've tried not to go for any elite players. I wanted to go more realistic in a general Football Manager save. So, what this system basically is just a complete attacking menace. Complete overload. The point of the tactic is to just completely overwhelm the defence, especially in wider positions. So, let's get down to it really. So, in defence, this is kind of a box four. As you can see, the two DMs and the two ball-playing defenders. This is basically the heart of your defence, because these two will not be anywhere near your defence, because one of the negatives to this formation, this whole system, this whole tactic, is that it does ship goals, but the point of this tactic is just to completely outscore your opponent, and I will show you the results. We've tested this tactic with Man City, Leipzig and Salford, just gone for a high Premier League team, a lower league team and a foreign team that isn't quite at the top. But basically this is how it goes. So out of possession, this is your box. So that is dealing with the counter attack basically. It's very central. Not many teams on this game will play that wide to a point that you don't get hit that badly in these wider positions, but the odd teams that do will hurt you on the counter attack especially. But if they're going to attack from wide and put the crosses in, you need these taller centre-backs. I've gone for Zabayani. He's 6'1", but he's very good in the air, very physical, can physically dominate a lot of players. So, with the thoughts behind these two players, Zabayani, great centre-back, young as well, very physical. He is the damage dealer in defence. And Colwill is he's the output in defence. He's getting the ball to the defensive midfielders, getting it wide to the wing-backs. That is his job. As for the wing-backs then, they are constantly forward. With these, you're picking two wing-backs that they don't need to be good defensively. Maybe a bit fine because they're going to press very high, but you just need great attacking full-backs. Good crossing, good pace, good dribbling, good passing, because that is their job really. Because most of their time will be spent here and here, right on the touchline. That is where these wing-backs mostly sit, on the opposite touchline, because this is how it goes in possession. These two sort of sit in this area, just in there in the attacking half, but not too far forward to a point that they can still come back and defend the counter-attack. This guy, you don't need someone who's exceptional creatively in attacking midfield, because most of the play comes from wide. He just needs to be in and around the box here. He's going to be scoring goals. So I've gone with Baldanzi because he's one of the better players at just being a second striker. You think of Jude Bellingham, Jacob Ramsey is one of the lower down options. But it doesn't need to be an exceptional passer. It just needs to be good at scoring goals, because that is his job. He just facilitates here, round the area. Often he'll come over here to maybe support, but these two, again, very important to this system. The two DMs though, I've gone with a more physical option to defend, obviously, Thuram, but he's not fantastic defensive. Neither of these two need to be fantastic defensively, because that's what these two are for. But both of these can go forward. Neves isn't a DM of such, he's more attacking, but he will sit there. You can train him to be a DM, and he's quality in the system as well. He's constantly passing out. These two will be more important than any other position. Obviously the fullbacks as well, but they're just constantly spraying balls out wide, spraying balls to these players. These players act more like two wide attacking midfielders than they actually do inside forwards. They're not scoring that many goals. One of them will, but one of them won't. So that's why you go one on one side. You don't have to do it on the left. Either side works. I always have one that's really good at scoring goals. Often I'll pick a striker that can play out wide. So just off the top of my head, you've got I can't think of one off the top of my head. The elite players will be like Kvaratskhelia, great at scoring goals. Rafael Leao, great at scoring goals. Marcus Rashford, great at scoring goals. But you just need someone that can probably play up front and out wide because he's going to be a goal scorer. This one, however, while they should still have an eye for goal, it's more creative, more better at dribbling, running in, causing all sorts of issues, dragging players out, and yeah, just great passer as well. Michael Elise, the best option. Also got Phil Foden, another good option for this position. And more or less that's it. And your advanced forward is just, he's not going to do much. He's just going to sit there and score goals. But in the harder teams to break down, you're going to want someone that can, have his back to goal and just have the two wide players play off him. And that's why you go for someone like Ivan Toney. But you can also go, Haaland would work in this system. He's just the best striker on the game. But other strikers that work in this system, Benjamin Sesko works in this system. Alexander Isak works in this system. Just you need someone that's pretty quick, pretty tall, pretty strong, and good at finishing. So any of those strikers work. I haven't had much luck in this system with any of the smaller strikers. It's not all about pace with a striker. They just need to be strong to be able to be quite physical because most of the goals come from crosses. But if we have a look at the instructions here, it's on low crosses, so they don't need to be massively tall. They just need to be determined. Their positioning needs to be good off the ball. They need to be making the right runs. But this is how it looks. So fairly wide because obviously this is a very wide system. High tempo, short passing, focusing play down the wings. Again, those wing backs are your main threat. They're constantly going to be up there. So this is how it is. When you're on the front foot, he is sort of here as sort of a second striker. He is kind of over here and he is right up here. This is how much you're overloading the attack. You've got more or less 4 players in this position. Then you've got one trailing in, Jota, over here. He's sort of hanging around here, waiting for maybe a back post cross. And Barco, sort of, when Jota's here, Barco's sort of here. And you've got so many players forward. And then even them two are sort of here in attack as well. Just pushing up, offering just a little bit extra support. But in attack, like when you've got Coyote here, obviously he's a bit more further forward, he'd be like here, almost. But you've got Elise having the ball, he'll probably give it to Baldanzi. Baldanzi's constantly got these overlapping runs. You don't need to set the team instruction to overlap because they'll do it automatically. You don't need it. But in transition though, you obviously counter press, counter. It's very aggressive, constantly in transition. You give the players the choices though when it comes to distribution. Get him to roll it out, but it doesn't matter where he rolls it out to. It's just whoever's the best option. And don't make him distribute quickly. You want him to think about it. You don't want him to make the wrong decision. Because of how aggressive this tactic is, people need to have time to think. Because one wrong pass can be really bad. So with the players that you pick in this system, they need to be really strong mentally. João Neves, if we take a look at his mentals, all absolutely exceptional. The midfielder's the most important for mental stats, but you really need strong mental players in this side. Zabani, great mentally as well. You just need that, especially in the middle of the park, they need to be great mentally. Out of possession though, high line, high press, it speaks for itself. You know how this system's going to work. As for the player instructions, the individual player instructions, you're right back. Again, you can imagine how it's going to go. They're taking more risks, they're dribbling more. You don't want them shooting though because you want them to stay wide. So that's where they stay wide. And every single player on tackle harder because it's the best way to be aggressive and to just try and constantly get the ball off the opposition. Even the goalkeeper on tackle harder. Centre-backs both the same, dribble more, tackle harder. You don't want them to be trying to pass out from the back. You want them to carry the ball forward a bit. So you need especially Colwill. Other options, maybe Schlotterbeck, Bastoni, Inaciao. You need good players on the ball at centre-back. Barco, obviously the same as the right-back, staying wide, taking more risks, dribbling more. These two, just take more risks, tackle harder. They can do what they want. You're going to have players that are good enough to be able to just realise what they want to do. These two, you want them to sit narrower to allow that wing back to overlap, but they're also tackling harder as usual, relentless in the press. This guy, sometimes he's moving into the channels, and where the channels are going to be, while he's occupying the centre-backs, and while these two are pulling the full-backs out, there's always going to be these channels, these spaces, and often they're going to be in these areas. So you want him to be, if he ever gets the ball in this area, if he's come to support, you want him to just hit a cross that's going to always be in the middle, because Tony's never going to move. Tony's never going to be over here or over here. He's always going to be there, because this guy's going to be there, and that guy's going to be there, and that guy's going to be there. It's so many players in the wide positions, so he's always going to be in the middle, so you don't need him to be crossing anywhere but the middle. And as for the striker, he's just on generic tackle harder. Nothing else. He's just going to be scoring all sorts of goals. So that's how the tactic works. Now I've tested it with 3 different teams, and let's see how it ended up. Firstly, with Man City then, and Manchester City won the league with a record-breaking 102 points and a 102 goal difference. As you can see, like I said, it is all goals. 129 goals scored by Man City, 10 against Wolves, 10 against Villa, 10 against Tottenham. You know, we're not scoring them against bad sides, but this is where the goals actually came from. So you can't see here, but I'll know where they came from. Kyle Walker would have played right back all season, and look at that, 17 assists last season from Kyle Walker. It's all in the fullbacks, the wing backs. They are getting all of the creativity. I'm assuming Gavardiol might have played left back, but they might have played someone else left back. But Foden, I'm assuming they would have played in right wing. I hope they did. But obviously I didn't play through them, I just holidayed them. But Foden, 14 goals, 5 assists. He would have been one of those wide positions. Grealish, I don't think they would have played him attacking midfield, but let's see if they did. 8 goals, 6 assists. Oh, he didn't start most of the season. Haaland, though, how many goals did he manage to finish on last season? Look at that. 39 goals. Ridiculous. That's how many goals this system gets. But De Bruyne, where would he played? He would have played attacking midfield, surely. When he wasn't injured, that is, anyway. What am I looking for? History, career stats. There you go. So this is what I meant with the attacking midfield spot. They're not that creative. You just need someone to get goals. And De Bruyne has scored 17 goals this season. So when you're looking at your attacking midfield spot, you don't need someone exceptionally good at creating, because they don't get the ball that much in creative areas. It's all in the wingers and the wing backs. You just need someone that's more or less a second striker to just put the ball in when it needs to be. And De Bruyne's got 17 goals. But that's how it's performed for Manchester City. Let's see how it's performed for Salford, who are in League 2 and have no business being anywhere near the top half of the table. If you watch Salford this year, you'd know that they have no business being anywhere near the playoffs or promotion. But let's see how Salford did with it. Right then, moving down to League 2, Salford with this tactic won the league by 13 points, 95 points. So it just shows it doesn't matter how good your team is. This tactic will be ridiculous at any level. Look, let's have a look at the assists. That's what it's going to be, the fullbacks. Where is it? Where's assists? Here they are. Declan John, 13 assists. Stevie Mallon, 13 assists. Declan John is a left back, and Stevie Mallon, I'm assuming he would have played attacking midfield, but he might have played DM, and he might have been on set pieces. What's his corner taking and stuff? Crossing 10, corners 12. He might have been on set pieces, which means why he got so many assists. But Ethan Ingram, I know, because he plays for West Brom, is a right back. So majority of the assists have came from wide areas. Matt Smith got second average rating. As for goals, though, not many players up there for goals. Hendry 17, Matt Smith 16, but not near the top. But then again, Salford's team should not be anywhere near the top. How many goals did Salford score in the entire season? 119 goals. They did concede 70 though. As I said, this tactic does sacrifice goals for goals. You will concede a fair bit, but you'll score way more. 119 goals in League 2. That could be a record, you know. As for the schedule, though, you can see some of the scorelines: 5-1, 5-2, 5-2, 5-2, 5-2, 5-2. How many times did they win 5-2? But again, 5-2 again, 5-2 again. There's a very common scoreline. We even drew a game 6-6 with Harrogate. What a game. But you can see it's so relentless attacking wise. But I'm going to name your 3 negatives with this system. 1, stamina. You're going to need some tanks in this team. And by tanks, I don't mean strength. I mean they're going to need a big fuel tank because stamina gets hit very bad in this. Bookings, especially lower down the leagues, you're going to need a decently sized squad because they get so many bookings and so many suspensions. Because they're on tackle harder and because of how aggressive it is, there will be times that they misplace the tackles or mistime the tackles and they get so many bookings, so many suspensions. So you need decent cover in each position to accommodate for that. And the third negative I would say is how many goals you do concede. If you're going to play a team, say you're Salford and you're playing a team in League One, maybe in a cup game, you're gonna be the better team on the front foot. But if you can't break down their defence, you're gonna lose the game just based on the fact that you can't deal with the counter attack, especially against higher quality opposition. But if you look past all that, the advantages speak for themselves. Scoring 119 goals in League Two with a team that is a bottom half level team. And lastly, we're going to look at how Leipzig did with this tactic. Final test then, Leipzig, how did they do? They finished second, which is not bad considering how good Bayern Munich are on this game and in real life. But Leipzig did finish second, which is pretty good for Leipzig, to be fair. How many goals did they score? 98. Not as many in the other seasons, but they do play less games in the Bundesliga, and they were still by far the top goal scorers in the league. Bayern Munich getting 91, which is still crazy, considering, third was on 72, but Leipzig top goal scorers. But as you can see, 43 goals conceded, which is the highest up until about 8th, so more or less mid-table. But if we have a look at the player stats, top assist, David Raum, left back, 15 assists for Leipzig. Top goals, a lot of goal scorers though. Openda, Sesko, Olmo, Poulsen, all in sort of the top 10. David Raum, one of the players of the season. I'd expect so, getting 15 assists from left back. But that's the tactic. What did you think of the tactic? If you want to use it, I will leave a link. I think I can leave a link to the tactic in the description. But if I can't, then you're more welcome to just pause where I've showed the tactic throughout and just use it there. But I did not make this tactic, so shout out to GYRFM. I'll leave his Twitter in the description as well. So thanks to him for creating this tactic. I've used it all year. It's an exceptional tactic. And if you like this tactic video and want me to do more, then let me know. If you've got any weird, wacky, great tactics, just make sure to get in contact with me. My Twitter's in the description and Discord as well will be in the description. If you just, add me on there, contact me, send me a tactic and I'll review it in a video. And yeah, until next time, I'll see you later.